Hey there, Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising. It's Maggie from Moon Directed. Welcome to my channel. Here we work with the energy of the moon. Today we work with the moon to see how we can best utilize it to move our life forward in the most positive way possible. So I channeled a message for you, and a really great way for you to get a message that really kind of resonates for you would be to connect your energy with mine. So thank you so much for hitting that like button or sharing, subscribing. But when you leave me a message, I put your name in my book of names, and then when I am channeling messages, I really focus on the energy coming out of that book. Okay, so channel message first, and then we will get into 2 weeks of Moon Astrology, May 25th through the 31st, and that'll be time-stamped, and then also time-stamped for the June 1st through the 7th, and so let's get into it. So what I saw for you was really fun. You were blowing bubbles. I thought, yay! I was so happy for you. So it was really inner child play. It was dreamy. It was fun. It was just you concentrating on blowing the bubbles, making wishes, and really focusing on what brings you joy and what brings you happiness. And then as the scene pans out, as it sometimes does, behind you I saw these other kids squabbling over their bottle of bubbles. Apparently they only had one wand or something between them. I don't know. And you were aware of them. You were. I felt like a couple things. One, you realized you had more than enough and you could share if you wanted to, but you weren't sure if you wanted to. And I have no judgment on that, and nor should you. Okay? It didn't feel like that. It was more like share when you're ready, and in the meantime, you staying in your own little space, enjoying your life, creating your space bubble, you just finding your own sense of happiness for where you are. That is really okay, and I kind of think that's what you're supposed to be doing. And I think it was like you have realized that there's more than enough. There's more than enough money. There's more than enough love. There's more than enough resources, more than enough time, opportunities. And when you are ready, when you're ready to get back out into the world and start moving forward, you will know. You will know. You're very intuitive. You will know. And so you rely on yourself. Believe in yourself. Trust in your intuition and what you're picking up so that you know what it is that you're trying to do when you're trying to do it, and don't let anybody rush you. All right. So let's go ahead and get into week 1 of the Moon Astrology, which is, May 25th through the 31st. And then we start out with the moon in the fellow water sign of Cancer. For you, this is up in your 9th house of research, of connection with spirit, of long-distance travel, which not a lot of us are doing right now. But it's in that house where you're doing the work. And there's this energy this week of slow and steady wins the race. And even though some of us want to really speed along, want things to go a little faster, there's a choice being made, and taking the time to decide, going ahead and blowing your bubbles and making your dreams and thinking about what it is you want and remaining optimistic as you consider your choices is exactly in the right place at the right time for you right now. And so this is the way that you start with this growth. There is a growth opportunity here, but it starts with the self-love. It starts with the self-care. It starts with this nurturing of yourself and doing the things for yourself that you really need to do. And so I think that you are doing exactly the right thing for you. And so I feel like Scorpio is on a healing journey, and like some decisions have been made, but the kinds of actions that you're taking on them kind of vary depending on other situations. And so going at your own speed is exactly what you're supposed to do. Oh my gosh. I love this deck, and every time I find a card I've never seen before, I love it even more. Okay, first off, this one. You just came out of, okay, so it would be 2 weeks ago was the full moon in Scorpio, right? That was that big, I don't know if it was a super moon, but it was large and in charge in the sky. And that was in your house of you, and that was about shedding the old, and this is what you have here. There is a change coming your way. Cultivate a sense of adventure so you'll be able to see the new prospects. Blow your bubbles, make your dreams. So look at this, gentle moderation. I've never seen this. Look how beautiful that card is. It says, take your time. Pressure from others or yourself can be released by renegotiating what you are trying to accomplish. Pressure from others or yourself can be released by renegotiating what you're trying to accomplish. To me, that says don't go too fast. Like being willing to adjust and make some changes. Maybe not push yourself so hard. Maybe, okay, eventually you want to get there, but right now, what's the next steps? What can I do? So I don't know if it's renegotiating what it is that you're trying to accomplish as much as renegotiating the timetable or the path, or it could absolutely be going, okay, so I've wanted whatever for the longest time, but that doesn't work for me. And so now I need to renegotiate with myself as to what it is that I really want to do, because we do have that full moon coming up that's an eclipse in your second house of what you value, your self-esteem, your self-worth, and finances. But it's more about what you value, what's really important to you. And so I think that this period leading up to it, coming off of this new moon happened in your ninth house, right, where you're doing all this connection with spirit, and setting your intentions. I'm sorry, not your ninth house. It happened in your eighth house of transformation. Ooh. Is that right? Hold on. Yes, that new moon in Gemini that just happened was in your eighth house of transformation. That means that definitely big changes are happening, and at the rate in which they do take your time, it's shedding of the old, it's negotiating the way forward, it's making space and making room, it's pruning out the things that don't work, and then we have the eclipse energies coming. We have 3 eclipses in a row. This next eclipse that's happening not this week, but the following week, on the 5th of June, is, it's a lunar eclipse. And so that is about what is inside of you that you need to release. It's a lunar full moon. So a solar full moon eclipse would mean, well, there would never be a solar full moon. Solar new moon eclipse would be about what you're doing out in the world that's you're changing. But this is internal changing. I hope I haven't said that earlier. I think I might have. People are probably shaking their heads going, what is she even talking about? Does she even know? All right, so on Wednesday, the moon moves into, so staying optimistic. I just want to really emphasize that. All right, so on Wednesday, the moon is going to move into Leo. And so this is your 10th house of career. And it comes into opposition with Saturn over there in Aquarius. And so Saturn likes boundaries. It likes rules. And Aquarius likes to, say, I don't like rules. I'm going to break that. And I'm going to do it in this sudden, chaotic way, which, I think you may have picked up on, because Uranus, which rules Aquarius, is hanging out over there in Taurus within your 7th house of relationships. And a lot of Scorpios I know are having this awareness of that energy over there of things shifting and changing, not necessarily breaking up, but shifting and changing the dynamics within a relationship. And so there's kind of that energy going to happen, but it's creative because it's in your house of career, and it's Leo, which is very creative energy. So it's about this path forward. What feeds your soul in the arena of your career or this big transformation that you're making? There is a competition, though, and I feel like it's a competition of ideas, because you were blowing bubbles. And so there's multiple opportunity, there's multiple things, there's multiple daydreams, there's multiple ideas. And so sorting through that and discerning which one is the path that you want to take, and that is going to require this wisdom, this innate wisdom that comes from following your heart and not listening to your head. That is the Akashic record. All I truly need is within me. And it's so funny, I did not say this to you, but up here in my notes for the moon in Cancer, I wrote, the answers are within right now this week. So apparently I was supposed to say that, and they're like, tell them that. Okay, so be willing to shine. Be willing to let your ideas get out there and shine. But, you have all the answers you need inside of you. We also have Mercury moving into Cancer on Thursday. And there's this, I have said it, a lot of astrologers will say it, that Mercury doesn't like to be in the water signs because it slows it down. It's Mercury. It's muddled. It's, the air doesn't necessarily like being in the water. But the thing about Mercury being in Cancer is it encourages you to use your intuition. to use your heart to make decisions instead of overanalyzing things, which Mercury likes to get information. It's curious. It wants to, when it's in Virgo, it likes to research. When it's in Gemini, it's like, oh, new idea, squirrel. So there's this kind of energy. So in the air signs, it's very happy, like it's doing all this energizing stuff. And when it's in fire, it's taking off and it's moving really fast. And when it's in the earth signs, it creates this practical analysis of the way that you do things. But in water, it says, wait a minute. Use and follow your heart. Use and follow your heart when you're making decisions. And so being a water sign and being so intuitive, this should be actually pretty comfortable for you. And Mercury is going to do a retrograde. We'll talk about that in another video in Cancer. And then it gets really confusing. And I think that it's going to be kind of triggering. But right now, this week, it's great for using your innate wisdom. So tap into that. Be willing to explore how you feel about things. Do the daydreaming and see where that takes you. On Friday, the moon is going to move into Virgo, your 11th house of groups and group activities, your public persona, how people view you, I mean really view you in like group settings. And so I think there's going to be this assessing of where do I fit in? Do I want to engage in those people that are squabbling behind and offer to share or not? Do I just want to distance myself, and if so, how much and how far? And so there's a real assessing and discerning that goes on over the course of Friday and Saturday about groups and how you feel about them and how much do you want to participate in them. And there's a big lineup of what the sun is doing as it's hitting all these difficult aspects. But I think if you stick with how you're feeling about it, you'll negotiate your way through that better based on some of the other energies this week. And so you have here, raise your vibration. Your intuitive feelings are accurate messages from angels. There you go. So instead of worrying about, oh, what on paper makes sense, what feels right, what makes your heart sing, what brings the joy, what feels like you're blowing bubbles in your life, right? And then you have wise soul. They really want you to tap into your innate wisdom. You have worked hard to get it, so why not tap into it? Your innate wisdom. Your soul carries ancient wisdom. Please embrace it as you have the knowledge to help those around you. So maybe you're supposed to share. I don't know. I feel like you take your time. Do what's right for you. If you want to, sure, great, go ahead. There's more than enough, and there's always more on the way, so that doesn't matter. But if you need to heal, if you need some space, if you need that protective bubble around you, and I say that because on Sunday we have this fears card, and see how there's this protective bubble of light, and that's your higher self chasing away the fears, and you learning to ignore them because fears are things that haven't happened. Like it's anxiety and concerns about things that might happen, and well, that's what happens when you get up in your head space. Stay in your heart space. Stay in your heart space this week and really just, have some fun and enjoy it. Oh my gosh. And honor your inner knowing. I feel like they're trying to smack you over the head with this. You have everything that you need. Okay? And you also have this releasing the old and rest. Shedding the old, releasing the old. There's a real theme this week of letting go of the things in your life that don't serve you, that don't make you happy, that don't make you feel like you're blowing the bubbles and enjoying yourself, okay? Be willing to step away from, walk away from any of those situations that are not working for you. It's okay. That means that now, when you feel that joy, that happiness inside, that's when you know you're in alignment with your purpose, with your soul purpose, with why you're here. And so why not go down that path, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and move into the second week here. 14:30. Let me change the page too so that we're on the right. I like to be on the right page with everybody. Okay, so second week. This is June 1st through the 7th. The moon is still in Libra. Okay, still this is your 12th house. Did I really cover that? I didn't really mention that, but it is in your 12th house, and it's about the healthy boundaries and scaring away the fears and the things that don't work. and allowing yourself to really honor your intuition and be willing to release what doesn't work. And the 12th house is always about releasing things that don't work and focusing on our dreams and our goals. And you had those bubbles, those soap bubbles that were blowing. And look, there it is. Looks like a big soap bubble, right? But I want you to see in here, she's surrounded by darkness, right? Here, she is surrounded by self-love. Pink represents the self-love, the love that you give yourself by honoring yourself, by honoring your inner knowing, by honoring what's important to you, by being willing to release what doesn't work for you in order to rest. She's resting. She's relaxing. Again, I really don't feel like you should be pushing yourself out into the world until you are ready. You know, it's like the birthing process, right? You don't want that baby born too soon. Okay, let's see here. So another thing right here, I want to go back to this Libra energy. There is, because it's an air and it's very heart driven, communication could be happening either with your higher self or with close friends or family or whatever. Listen to the communication. Either the ones that you're having, the conversations you're having with the mirror, or the ones that you're talking to somebody about. Because there's some nugget. There's some important insight that's going to be dropped into your lap and you're going to be like, oh my gosh. And how do you feel about it? So it could be something where you're like, oh man, I don't want anything to do with that. And it makes you just like cringe up. Or you'll be like, wow, that brings joy and happiness. So really pay attention to your feelings, because the moon is going to be in your sign on Tuesday. At 12:06 p.m. it moves into Scorpio. And there can be some really extreme emotional reactions around people because of what other planets are doing. I want you to stay in your core of who you are and what it is that's important to you. And that's going to require a lot of willpower and focus, because I have a feeling people are just going to be going a little nuts. But focus on the transformation. See the butterfly? On the transformation that you're trying to create for yourself, that is about what are you passionate about? What do you really care about? What is it that you want to do? So remember, listening to your innate wisdom, being gentle with yourself through this process, and being willing to release and let go of what doesn't work. And you may feel the need to, and if you want to, and I'm not saying don't do this, okay? The energy is there to do this. But to clear the air about something that's an emotional issue. There's going to be a lot of that. Look at this. You have the harmony card. Yes, stay in your core. Stay in harmony with yourself. That does not mean don't speak your truth. That does not mean hide your feelings from other people. If you feel the need to say stuff, go right on ahead, right? Say what you need to say, positive or negative, as long as it is you speaking your truth. As long as you're doing it for the right reason of being in harmony with you and your soul path. As long as you're doing it because you're focused on the transformation that you are trying to create for yourself. Not everybody is going to like the changes, right? I mean, people don't like change unless they initiate them. So if you're out there initiating changes, other people are looking at you going, what the heck? Well, that's kind of their problem, not yours. That's how I feel about that. That's my personal opinion. Okay, so on Thursday, the moon is going to move into Sagittarius at 1:17 p.m. And Friday, we have the lunar eclipse at 3:12 p.m. So it's like 24 hours, well, 20, more than 24, 26, 20, whatever, 6 hours later. But anyways, it gives you a whole day to really concentrate and think about where I've been, what I have accomplished, and where I'm going. But mostly I want you to focus on what you've accomplished, because Scorpio, oh my goodness, the past year and a half, I've been impressed with your very difficult journey. And now I feel like when I went through my dark night of the soul, I literally felt like I was down in the bottom of a well and I had to crawl over so much rubble to pull myself up out into the light. And I felt like that's what your journey has been the last year and a half. And so give yourself the recognition that you deserve. And then when that eclipse comes, there's a lot of energy here of power and strength to take action, but remember, this is internal action. This is the action of you shifting inside of yourself and being willing to release from your life the things that don't work, the things that don't bring the joy, the things that don't bring the harmony and the happiness into your life. Honor your inner knowing. Being willing to release what does not work, what does not make you happy. Step into your power, because when you clear the space, now you allow for the blossoming of the new growth of what it is that you're trying to accomplish. The thing that looks like a big bubble, doesn't it? The thing that you are blowing bubbles of, the dreams and the daydreams that you have, you need to clear some space in order to allow that to have a place to really take off and to really soar and fly high. And so do not be afraid to let go of when it's in Sagittarius. Now remember, this is in your second house of what you value. It could be material goods, but self-worth, self-esteem, whatever is holding you back. And it's because it's Sagittarius, it's about a belief system, a long-held belief system. So Scorpio risings in particular have this really interesting chart to me, because Leo is up in your 10th house of career, and this is like, I'm large and in charge in my career life, and I can manifest whatever. And you have Sagittarius, which is, this belief system that says, well, if you believe that you should be manifesting, then absolutely you should be manifesting. And so it's really nice energy to really promote you and help you to get out there and get things done. But sometimes that belief system is bred from, maybe you grew up in a family where you were scraping, hoping to make rent, or to have food on the table, or getting a present was a really big deal, And so there's this fear of lack. And so the thing to release, if that is the case, would be the fear of lack. Because there is the abundance of the universe is open to you. You are blowing so many bubbles, and you have the ability to pick and choose your way through it and to manifest what you want. And so look at this. Oh my gosh, you have your hard work is paying off. Your hard work is paying off. Seek your destiny, and we are all connected. Somebody else got this too. I'm actually going to read this one, because I don't really see how that falls in play with what I'm seeing here. So I'm hoping that when I read it, I'll be like, that's what they mean by we're all connected. So the number on that is 49. So that's a 4. It's about creating stability. I feel like I read this one and I still don't know what it means. Okay. We are all dependent on others for life. If we destroy the very things upon which we depend, we too shall perish. We are all connected. We are all one. Do harm to the natural world, and you do harm to yourself. You are more than just a part of the human race. You are a child of Gaia. You are a brother and sister. All life and moving things, love them all, and you love yourself. Sustain them as you sustain yourself. I feel like being grounded is what this is really. Being connected to, okay, so you're blowing bubbles. Those are your dreams up in the air. How do you manifest them? How do you bring them down into reality? As above, so below. How do you manifest? How do you create? So as a water sign, the earth provides a container to hold the emotional waters. It is the practicality. It is the being connected. And so I think you're being asked to be willing to create a practical plan. It's not enough to just dream. It's not enough to just heal. Those are important pieces. But your innate wisdom, tapping into that. Oh my God. Okay, there we go. Your innate wisdom. This is from lifetimes of wisdom. I just heard Akashic Records. Okay, so tapping into your innate wisdom. What do you intuitively know and feel to help you, to guide you through this next process, so that you can be on the path to the destiny that you originally came in here to do? We all come in with a plan. We do. And we come in with people to help us. And sometimes it doesn't seem like, how did that help me? Well, believe me, the hard lessons are the ones that we really learn, right? And so the people we don't like are our soulmates. The people we don't think we like are our soulmates that we're willing to sacrifice your approval, your liking in this lifetime, this small space of time here, in order to help you to grow. And so you're teaching them, they're teaching you, there's stuff happening, there's growth happening. You know, and so the soulmates that we enjoy their company and they're here for our support and our love, those are our friends. Those are the people we like to hang out with. The ones that are difficult, that are stressful, those are our teachers. And where they're students, if you're somebody's student, you're also their teacher. They should be learning from you also. There is a give and take with that because all things in the universe are actually in balance. So, seek your destiny. Try to connect. Spend some time in quiet space, in a saltwater bath, or going for a walk, or channeling through writing, through journaling, is a really great way to connect with spirit so that you can tap into this information that they're trying to bring to you to help you to guide you in the next steps. So self-reflection, right? This is where we keep our head above the emotional waters, but we really take that honest look, that truthful look at where we've come from, where we're going, where do we want to go? What have we learned along the way? And how do we bring the joy and the pleasure into our life and take in responsibility for our personal joy and pleasure in life, right? So you can't be a victim, right? You can't say, oh my gosh, nobody ever loves me. You plug the hole in your emotional bucket and you fill it up with self-love. You fill it up with all that self-love and then you float up to the top. And then when the water's splashing over, then you find other people who also have full buckets. And those are the people you connect with. And so taking responsibility, finding the joy and the happiness, what do? What was the last time you did something that was purely just for fun? And how soon can you do it again? Or do something else? It's about being creative. So you have the coyote spirit. Trust in divine detours. These are those lessons. These are those things that have happened that have taught you things along the way to help you to get back in realignment with yourself and get back on, seeking your destiny. We come in with this plan, but we always have free will, and we can always change our mind at any point, and most of us do. And we change it back. Or we change it, and then we make another move, But sometimes we'll circle all the way around back to where we were to begin with, and we're like, oh, here's that choice again. And this time you get to make a different choice. So say it's a relationship. It might not be the same person you're circling around to, but it's the same kind of an opportunity. Like how we like the person that challenges us. Oh, I'm going to make them love me. And I'm going to be so special that way. They're the bad boy. Okay. Sorry, guys. You're probably like, what are you talking about? You probably actually know, but you want to say that. All right, so now you're in a situation where maybe you have a choice again between somebody who's sincere and honest and trustworthy, or the wild ride adventure over here. Well, the last time you took the wild ride adventure, where did you go? So maybe this time it's a different person, but it's the same opportunity. And that would be a relationship. But this, is happening in your second house of self-worth, self-esteem. So it's probably not about a relationship. It's probably about a career opportunity. Or where do you want to live? Or what is your life purpose opportunity? So really take a look at what brings in the real true happiness to you. And, trust that everything along the way was there for a reason. So it says, Antelope Spirit, life is speeding up. So slow and steady does win the race. So rest up now, though, because it looks like for you, things are picking up speed for whatever reason. Probably because over the next 18 months, while the North Node is in Gemini and the South Node is in Sagittarius, what you have happening is you have Lots of eclipses happening in your house of transformation. And lots of eclipses happening. That's the opportunities to transform your life in a new and better way. And lots of opportunities to let go of long-held beliefs. I think there's 3 of each one. So just know this. Spirit has your back. Spirit has your back. So what has felt really difficult and really hard, and it has felt that way because it has been that way. It's not your imagination. It was there for a reason. You know, Scorpio comes in with some of the hardest life lessons, I swear. I don't see anybody else that has to go through some of the things that you guys do. Because you represent that deep transformative energy. And in order to bring about deep transformations in someone's life, it's like you have to go into the fire. You don't get the lukewarm bath, right? All right, so yes, ground yourself. Okay, so let's go back to that idea that the earth is a container. So get out in nature, walk around barefoot, get your feet on the ground. Saltwater baths will also do this, but look, the other card you have that came out was pink. Let love in. And this is self-love. This is self-love. For some of you, this is about you being willing to open up to the opportunity of a relationship. Okay? For some of you, it is that. For all of you, though, it is about loving yourself enough. Always put yourself, that love of self, first. Okay? And I don't mean that in a narcissistic way. I mean that in the, I'm worth something. I am worthy. I deserve. Because you do. All right. I will see you back here next week. Gosh, these readings are so long today. I will see you back here next week. We are going to discuss the last 2 weeks of Gemini. Be a much quicker reading, although there are eclipses in it, so who knows. Okay. I will see you then. You take care.